Hello everyone, welcome to Forest Namesake. I'm Martina and this is my daughter Valentine.
Hello.
And we've been talking about some serious topics here lately, and I thought let's talk about something fun like laughter. You've heard of the saying, laughter is the best medicine. I think that's how it goes, right?
Well, they kind of took that from Proverbs. If I can read it to you. You know what, I can't because I lost my place, but it's actually a merry heart does good like medicine. And it probably depends what translation you're using. But to be merry, you would think that when you're merry, you're laughing and rejoicing and happy.
Yes. Yeah. And so anyway, we just thought we'd talk about different ways that we can be happy and we can laugh. And I've mentioned before in some other videos that it may not be right in the moment, but it's good to laugh at our own mistakes sometimes, or our clumsiness or carelessness, or I mean, maybe not in the moment when you stub your toe, you're not going to be laughing, of course, although other people are laughing. I've noticed that. Or, you know, in our family, if one of us hurts ourselves in the moment, and it's the way that we're portraying ourselves, we're whiny, or we kind of yelp a little bit, or scream, or whatever, and then I look around and I notice that people are laughing, and they think that's funny. And then we'll, you know, I'll say something like, wait until it's your turn, wait until you stub your toe, or wait until you drop your purse out of the truck, you know, and then see if you're laughing. But you know, we'll say it in a kind way. It's not like an eye for an eye or tooth for tooth. It's not one of those kind of thoughts. But we just have fun. I've noticed that a lot. Like if Valentine will drop her purse out of the truck, you can actually hear it go kaboom, and it's really loud. And then I envision all of the contents of the purse just kind of sprawling across the parking lot. And I know that's not fun for her because she'll have to pick it all up. But most of the time it's all intact, but it's just her voice, the way she kind of yelps a little bit, or oh no, or, you know, or if you hit your funny bone, that's another thing. I don't know why they call it a funny bone. It's not going to make you laugh. It doesn't make me laugh when I hit that. That thing hurts like crazy when you hit that bone. I don't know if you know the reason why it's called a funny bone. For those of you in the medical field, maybe you know that. I would like to know, because it hurts like crazy when you hit that thing on something. And we're not laughing in those moments. Not even afterwards. But yeah, so we like to laugh at our own mistakes, or we look back in the past at something that, you know, that was really hysterical. I mean, in the moment, maybe it wasn't hysterical, but looking back, we can go, oh my goodness, remember the time when, and then you can laugh about that. You know, I'm sure you can think of moments in your life like that as well.
Like the other night, we were having a live stream with our members, and we brought up my fear of crickets, but we ended up laughing just of how hysterical it can be.
Yes, exactly. Even though in the moment it's not fun for Valentine when a cricket lands on her shoulder in the bathroom, the ladies' bathrooms. But, you know, and in the moment, of course, I'm, you know, very serious with her. But looking back at it, we kind of laugh at, remember the time when the cricket landed on your shoulder and you screamed really loud. I mean, probably everybody heard us there in the gas station. But nobody came to our rescue. I found that strange. The music is so loud in those gas stations, they would never know anything was wrong in the bathroom. Yeah. Okay, well, Valentine has some scripture to share, and I thought I'd share something too. This is from Psalm chapter 32, verse 11. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice. So you can be happy in the Lord and rejoice. And we did a video on joy before. I think that's what it was called, or joy in the Lord.
Joy in trials.
Right, so some of our videos, the message will overlap with each other, and that's okay. But yeah, did you want to share one of
Well, here's Psalm 118:24. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
That's right, yeah. Isn't that a song? I think
it is a song that we have sung before in a medley of songs, which was taken from this psalm.
Yeah, that's right. And I know it's hard to laugh when you're going through a lot of things in your life, and you know the saying, when it rains it pours. You know, you have one problem, and then you have another problem, and then you have another, and it goes on, and that's kind of what we're going through right now ourselves. We've just got one thing going on after another, and we haven't shared everything because some of it is private, and or certain family members don't want us to share things that are going on with their with them personally on the channel, and that's understandable. And you know, but it's true, when it rains it pours. That's usually how it goes. And then it's kind of hard to laugh in those moments when you've got one bad thing happening after another, or one stressful thing after another. But still, me personally, I would not want to stay constantly bitter or constantly sad or constantly, because it's like a cancer, and it just keeps, you know, you just want to stay like that. Then you don't want to get out. And so I try to watch funny things, like you may have heard of him as a Christian. His name is Tim Hawkins. He is a stand-up comedian, and he is hilarious. Now, some comedians out there are what I call silly. I can't even crack a smile to what they say. It's well, not even silly. It's stupid. If I may, that's not a bad word, by the way. The word stupid is in the Bible, believe it or not, several times actually. So stupid is not a bad word, but some of the stand-up comedians out there are really stupid, and I don't, whatever they're saying is not funny to me. But Tim Hawkins, my ribs are actually hurting because I'm laughing so hard at some of the things that he shares. And so I like to listen to him when I am down in the dumps, as they say, or if it's just one bad thing after another, and and there seems to be no reprieve in sight. Stand-up comedians, what are some other ways that we can bring laughter into our lives despite hardships?
Or like a comedy show, and again with shows you have to be careful. I like the old black and white. I feel like they're clean and they're still funny to laugh to. I like the Andy Griffith Show. I love it. I always laugh, me and my siblings. And we also like the Dick Van Dyke Show. I feel like those are safe enough shows. Of course, every show, if they're not Christian based, are going to have some things, so just look out for them. But I would say for the most part, they're appropriate, and it makes me happy to laugh along.
Yes, and I don't know if I can share this one. Is this one okay, Mom Pa Kettle? I know y'all used to. Yes, that's what your grandmother grew up with, so she kind of.
Mom Pa Kettle, we love Mom Pa Kettle. Just beware, that was back in the 50s, and there were still some racial issues that kind of make fun of Native Americans, so just be aware of that. Sadly, a lot of the shows back in the 30s to probably the 60s, there were a lot of racial things. I'm sure you guys know that yourself, so just be aware of that.
I did not know that. Okay. Yeah, and let's see, you probably know of some funny things to watch too. Or like we mentioned, funny movies or stand-up comedians. And then reminiscing, we kind of touched on this in the beginning, is reminiscing about things in the past that have happened to us. And in the moment, maybe it wasn't funny, but looking back, we can kind of laugh and go, oh my goodness, can you believe that? Remember when Valentine did this, or when Mommy did that, or, you know, the list goes on. And some people in our family they can laugh about it even in the past, but some are kind of hanging on to that a little bit and saying, that wasn't funny. I don't know why you find that funny, because to me that is not funny. Even now looking back, that's not funny. So we all have, you know, I'm sure everybody has different types of people in their family, and not everyone is going to agree with the other as something being funny even later.
Another thing to do is get out in God's beautiful creation. Look at something happy and joyful, like if it's a perfect cloudy day and you can make shapes out of the clouds. That really makes me happy. I did that the other day with my brother.
Yes.
And there's some squirrels here that are so cute, and just watching them play is really joyful to watch.
Yeah, that is. They can get pretty funny. Yeah. And then the other night we were, you know, we always sleep in parking lots. And, for those of you who are coming and joining us for the first time, we're a homeless family, and we live in our truck, and we sleep at various parking lots where we have permission to stay. I think usually, so anyway, but at this one parking lot, I kept hearing, everybody else was sound asleep, and I kept hearing this. I thought it was a baby crying, and I kept getting louder, and I thought, oh my goodness, I hope nobody dropped off a baby somewhere. It just sounded like a baby crying, and kind of, and I kept getting louder and louder, and I thought, oh, and I didn't know what to do. I was about to get out of the truck and start walking in the dark parking lot to get closer to the noise, but just as I was thinking about doing that, then I could hear this, when cats are fighting, they make this and so one cat did it over the other, and I was, we had these binoculars, and I have really bad eyes, so I started to look in the binocular to see what was going on, and sure enough, it was two cats, and they were fighting like crazy, and I know it wasn't funny for them, but as if cats have, funny moments, as if they can laugh, but it was funny watching them roll around and jump, pounce on each other, and then they'd be real still for a moment like statues, and I thought, oh no, is one of them dead? But no, then they both start getting, on top of each other again, rolling around, really, clawing each other out, and I thought, oh my goodness, it was scary, but yet it was funny. Looking back now, it's hilarious, because finally, it got to the point where one yielded to the other, and there's always one cat in that area, and that's her area. And she did not want the new one. We always think it's a she. It could be a he, but most cats that are dropped off somewhere, I would think that's a female cat, because nobody wants the female cat because she's always having kittens. Or the female cat and her kittens are dropped off, whichever. But, so I'm just thinking it's a she. But she does seem very ladylike. She'll just sit at a distance from our truck, and she'll just watch us, and then she'll, walk away. And anyway, but that was her territory, and in comes this black cat out of nowhere, and the gold cat is saying, no, I live here. This is my place, and you need to get out, I guess. So anyway, I didn't see that black cat again, but it's just funny watching them fight ridiculously. Goodness.
I hope the poor black cat found another place.
I hope so. Yeah. So yeah, just watching animals can be really funny to watch. They have their own little personalities. Yeah. And like she mentioned, squirrels can be really funny too. It's almost like they're talking to each other, running around. Yeah. Let's see, what else is a way to make yourself laugh. My youngest daughter, hope she doesn't mind me sharing this, she likes to read joke books. Now, be careful, some of those joke books out there are kind of vulgar. I don't think she does those. She hasn't shared them with us, but like knock-knock jokes, I know they're kind of boring at times, but some of them are kind of funny. For example, we'll do a knock-knock joke right now so they can see. Okay, here, let's see if I can think of one. Okay, here's one. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow who?
Moo. See, I interrupted her before she could even finish the sentence. So there's an example of a knock-knock joke. I'm trying to think. Oh, there's another one I like. Let's see if I can think of. Oh yeah, knock-knock.
Who's there?
Nobody.
Nobody who? Nobody who? You get it?
I didn't say anything. See, knock-knock jokes could be pretty funny. Oh yeah, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, there's another one. Oh yeah, here's another one. We'll do one more. Okay, knock knock.
Who's there?
Megan.
Megan who?
Making a list and checking it twice. That'd be perfect for Christmas. Anyway, I like the knock knock jokes. Just make sure they're clean and none of this vulgar stuff. But she has other jokes too, like, the famous one, why did the chicken cross the road, or something like that. I don't even know how that one goes. If you know the answer, you can give us it in the comments down below. Or just, fun little riddles that are funny to laugh at, or funny poems. I mean, there's so many different ways to make ourselves laugh, right?
And I know that we have a lot of singles out there, but for those of you who are living with someone, or for singles and you go out and about, maybe you can play a non-competitive game with someone, because games can be fun.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Don't play Catan. Catan is extremely competitive.
Yeah.
And, woo.
Play something that you don't mind losing to.
Yeah, like Ticket to Ride. That's a fun game, but some people would think some people think it's stressful. I love that game. I could play by myself. I miss those games now. I always loved all the games. I love them. Yeah. But some of them can be funny. Like, isn't Mousetrap for kids? That's kind of funny, isn't it?
That's for kids, but not, I wouldn't say funny,
it wouldn't be funny.
It's cute.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are all different ways to, or read a funny book if you like to read, like Valentine, she likes to read. I don't know if you like to read funny books, or if you're more into serious books.
I'm more into the historical fiction, but every now and then I do come across the ones that have a humorous book. I just finished reading Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell. And while there is some sadness in there's a lot of cute, happy, funny moments in there too.
Yeah. Good.
And for those of you who are going through, like, this is all great and dandy, but I don't see how I can do that. I'm just too sad, I'm too depressed, you don't know what I'm going through, and we probably don't. But there is someone who does know what you're going through, and I'm sure that he can give you that joy and peace if you ask him. Just work up to it. Maybe read a light-hearted psalm.
Yeah.
Or just look up verses on joy and cheerfulness, and just say them over and over to yourselves until you start to believe it.
Right. Yeah. And I was going to say, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think we do have a lot of single people on our channel, and some of them are up in years, like 50s and up.
I have to say, most when we looked at the analytics, a lot of you folks who are watching, that's great, are 50s to even 60s and above that.
Right. So in that case, since you don't have family, and maybe don't even have a chance to visit family, maybe you're just completely alone, I would think that for laughter, I know it's kind of hard, and we can't even begin to understand what that's like because we're not in your shoes. I don't like when people say, I totally understand, when really they don't. Nobody understands until they've been in your shoes. So I'm not going to say I totally understand. I can just say, and I hope I didn't say that a while ago, but I would just say that for those of you who are alone and don't have family to laugh with or reminisce about good old times, that maybe you didn't have a good family life, maybe there's nothing to reminisce about. Just like I said, Tim Hawkins is really funny. He's, stand-up comedian. He's Christian. I mean, we don't always agree with some of the things that he shares. Just like with everything, we have to be discerning. No one's perfect, but he is a Christian. He is a professing Christian, and mostly his stuff is clean, I would think. But yeah, and he makes me laugh. I mean, like crazy. So find yourself a good comedy, stand-up comedian, or a funny show, or one of those funny, back in the old days, not the new days. New days talk shows are not funny. They're kind of gross and extremely worldly and not good for Christians. But like the old shows that were funny. I'm trying to think who was funny back in the day. Well, I didn't like him, but other people liked him. Was it Jay Leno or was it Johnny Carson? Although he could get kind of gross too. So, but you know what I mean. Some of the older ones. Go back to the older ones, or like she mentioned, the old shows, the Dick Van Dyke and
like I said, every show's not going to be exactly perfect.
Right.
So just use your own discretion, your own discernment.
Yeah.
Or watch a funny episode itself from even a drama, like Lost in the Prairie. I would consider that to be a drama series, but every now and then you'll find a light-hearted episode. So maybe watch them like that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and I was going to say, just being goofy, maybe you've got, like we mentioned, animals. Maybe you have a pet that keeps you company, like a cat or a dog, or maybe even a fish in a fishbowl. And even fish can be silly. I've watched them, because she used to keep fish in a fishbowl at one time, believe it or not. Valentine, wasn't it you that had the little frogs and the little fish? I did.
Yeah, and they're just kind of cute, just watching them, dance around in the fishbowl. That's funny just to watch. Not that we're making fun of them, but it's just funny. It just brings a smile upon our face. So if you have a pet that you're living with, and sometimes they do some goofy things, there's your laughter. Laughter is the best medicine, as they say. Other than Jesus. Jesus, of course, is first. and then, So we just thought we'd talk about laughter, because we've been talking about some serious topics here lately, and I was telling Valentine, we need something lighthearted. What can we talk about?
It's probably good for us, too, because we've been through a lot as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in the midst of all that we're going through with my husband's tooth, and by the time that this video comes out, we pray and hope that the tooth will have been extracted and had not gotten worse. So, yeah.
And thank you again for your prayers.
Right. Thank you so much for all your prayers. They are very much appreciated. Yeah. Okay. Well, did you have some more scripture to share on laughter? I see a bookmark there, or did you already share that?
Oh, the only time I was trying to look up words that actually had laugh in the Bible. This is from Proverbs 31. About the Proverbs 31 woman. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. Other translations say she will laugh at times to come. That's a sweet promise.
Yeah, that is nice.
So, we hope that you enjoyed the video. Hope it uplifted your spirits like it did us. Keep these tips in mind. Maybe you can list them down below. What makes you happy? What brings you joy? And of course, our ultimate joy comes from Jesus himself. So ask him for that joy and peace, and he will give it to you. And just stay grounded in his word.
Yes, definitely.
So we hope that you like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. And Lord willing, we will see you on the next video. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.